Today on Eagle Nation News, Grant Johnson reports on the coyote attacks dominating the Frisco Prosper area.
Kashida Kama highlights a teacher here at Prosper High School who sets forth his best effort for his students.
And finally, Maggie Hale joins us in studio to highlight a significant African-American figure in honor of Black History Month.
Eagle Nation News starts
right now. Good afternoon, Prosper High School. Today is Thursday, February 7th. I'm Christina Folsom.
And I'm Cameron Silva.
Now, there is some news regarding the Oscar Awards. And the 2019 Oscar Awards are said to have no host this year due to Kevin Hart stepping down from the position after receiving backlash from a previous homophobic comment. This is the first time in 3 decades that the Oscars has gone hostless, and they will replace the gaps in the show where Kevin Hart would have spoken with skits.
Measles is a respiratory disease that causes rashes and flu-like symptoms and is rare in the U.S. thanks to widespread vaccinations. However, Denton County released reports of the first case of measles in North Texas. The victim reportedly did not have a history of travel, and it is currently unknown whether or not he was vaccinated for the disease.
Coyotes have been spotted off of El Dorado and Preston Road in Frisco, and numerous joggers have reported being attacked or threatened by one.
Grant Johnson reports on the situation and how the numerous canine encounters have affected local residents.
Viewer discretion is advised as there is graphic content.
Jogging is one of the most common forms of exercise in the early morning hours. But after the 6th coyote attack in the city of Frisco, people are starting to wonder what the city is actually doing to keep them safe. Following the 4th attack on a person, the Frisco Police Department wanted to be able to track the ill population of coyotes. They launched an interactive map that can be found on their website or their My Frisco app that is being used for data.
We've worked with the community services and several agencies around us. Part of what we've done is created an online map so that folks can help us track where the coyotes are. And the best way to do that is to have the public tell us where they're seeing the majority of the coyotes, especially around the El Dorado corridor.
On October 26th, the first aggressive coyote was reported after an attempt to jump on a jogger. Just days later, on November 1st, the coyote bit a 9-year-old child on their way to school. Then, on November 11th, an officer scared off a coyote right before an attack. And on November 28th, the coyote bit a jogger on the neck. On December 17th, 2 joggers were attacked and bit in the legs. And finally, the most recent attack on January 29th. On the morning of December 17th, Sherry DeVore and her friend Marcia were out for their morning run when they were targeted by an aggressive coyote.
I looked back behind her and saw a coyote, and then it lunged at her and bit her on the right calf, and that knocked her down. And then it went for her other calf, and we were kind of tripping on each other, and it was hard to stand up. There was one point that I was down on the ground with my friend, and it went for my thigh, and I grabbed it and pulled it off. Then we got out into the street area. The Good Samaritan, his name was Michael, pulled up in a little white Civic. He was able to drive us to a nearby hospital.
I am right here where the most recent coyote attack on El Dorado Parkway and Tangerine Drive took place. The attack was on January the 29th, and police are suggesting that if you're going to go jogging in the morning hours, to bring something such as a whistle or something that makes noise to scare off the coyote. In Frisco, I'm Grant Johnson reporting for Eagle Nation News.
Now, coyotes are not just spotted in Frisco, and coming up, Kashida Kama highlights how there may be one here at the high school as well.
Ammonia, nicotine, rat poison, and black tar heroin are just some of the 4,000 toxic ingredients found in cigarettes. Today, almost 2,500 children will try their first cigarettes, exposing their developing adolescent brain, causing underlying effects such as sagging skin, skin cancer, hair loss, colored teeth, and many more. A single cigarette can ruin a kid's future and primes them for a higher likelihood of addiction to other drugs like cocaine. Just say no.
Most teachers enter the classroom with the goal of preparing their student in a certain area of study.
But one teacher here at Prosper High School may have different ideas.
Kashada Kama reports.
Most teachers' main goal is to see their students succeed, but Mr. Floyd takes his students' success to the next level and acts as a mentor for every one of them every day through his teaching.
I started thinking about teaching. I had a guy that I worked for that said, "Why don't you become a teacher?" Like, no. I know what teachers make. I'm not going to do that. But the more I started thinking about it, he planted that seed. And as time went on, I started thinking, yeah, I could make a difference. That kind of led me to teaching. And from day one, I just had a blast.
When you walk in the science hall, you may notice all the animals around his classroom. But it's not just entertainment for the students.
I need to have stimulation around the room other than just listening to the teacher, because I can be really boring sometimes. So if I have these things around the room, it kind of gives students a chance to look at something.
Mr. Floyd's main goal isn't to keep his students listening. It's for him to have an impact on them, which he shows through his wall.
It's a reminder for me to be able to, just for what I get to do, the impact that not that I get to have, but the impact that they have on me.
Mr. Floyd has been one of my favorite teachers that I've ever had, not only in the classroom, but he's also really supportive outside the classroom. He comes to all of our volleyball games, and I can always hear him first row in the stands yelling my name whenever I do something really good. So I've been really lucky to have him as a teacher and a volleyball supporter.
Mr. Floyd has given his students the opportunity to reassemble a Coyote structure in class, and it will be featured in a museum.
They're going to actually reassemble the Coyote skeleton. It's just a pile of bones, and it's going to actually be museum quality and be able to go on display.
The impact Mr. Floyd has on his students will be with them from when they enter the classroom to the minute they leave.
I tell my kids, in fact, in class, that by the end of the year, when you look in the mirror, I want your face to melt off. Part of it anyway. When you realize how phenomenal you are. We are truly exceptional, and I want everybody to appreciate that.
For Eagle Nation News, I'm Kashida Kama. Prosper.
Coming up next, Maggie Hale will take a look at a well-known king, but not the kind of king you may expect. Stay tuned.
A mandatory Talonets meeting will take place on Monday, February 25th at the PHS cafeteria. The 2019 musical theater cabaret presented by Prosper Eagle Theater Company will be on Friday, February 8th. Congratulations to the student below for winning a new VR viewer.
Now we send it over to Maggie Hale with your Eagle Update. If you aren't one to keep up with annual occurrences, Black History Month started at the beginning of the month of February. This month was set into place to pay tribute to the generations of African Americans who struggled with adversity in order to achieve the well-deserved and equal rights they have today. One instrumental person remembered during this month had a dream and lost his life in order to achieve it, not only for himself, but for everyone. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister and, most importantly, a civil rights activist. He played a key role in the civil rights movement until he was assassinated in 1968. King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964 and is annually remembered on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which was January 21st this year. Well, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Eagle Nation News and check out our website, eaglenation.net, to watch previous episodes. Back to you guys at the desk. Now let's take a look at the meeting schedule for the week.
Some final announcements before we go. Because Prosper basketball is in the playoffs, pajamas are allowed, along with Nike shorts for girls and no shave for guys.
This week is Counselor Appreciation Week, so be sure to stop by the counselor's office and show your appreciation.
Well, that's all the time we have for you today. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Cameron Silva.
I'm Maggie Hale. And I'm Christina Folsom. Live long and prosper.